Oh, finally I can hear some sound. Finally I can hear something.
Can you hear me now?
Finally, I can hear you, Feli Nandi. I can hear you, man. You are listening to the Joe Mars Podcast, a podcast inspired by musical creatives from and within Zimbabwe, Africa, and the world who are making an impact and pursuing their passions. My name is Joseph Maramba, and I'm a radio host best known for shows on Capital FM, Power FM, and Sport FM radio. And I'm sitting down with creatives to learn more on their story and how they are making an impact with every single production. Right. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How you doing?
I'm good. It's very wonderful to be talking to you, Feli Nandi. I mean,
Thank you so
I've
much.
got so much respect for you and your music. And guess who
Oh,
also
thank you.
has respect and love for your music? My wife. She sent me a text message.
Really?
And let me read it for you. Let me read it for you. Um, okay. She says, uh,
Mm.
tell her I love her music, Shem. I'm her biggest fan. Was
Oh,
just
thank
listening
you
to her
so much.
latest code. I was just listening to her latest code, Unotyei. She never disappoints. So no question, but only praises.
Oh, thank you so much. I really
You
appreciate
know,
that.
she
Oh,
she
thank you.
literally introduced me to you. Here's the thing.
Really? That's really
Exactly.
nice. I like her more. I
You
don't
like
like
her more,
you.
huh?
I like her.
Uh,
Yeah.
Come on, you gotta love me. I mean, we're having the podcast together, so you gotta like me.
How you doing?
If, I'm good. I'm good. I see you still in your
Yeah.
in your house. Everything is, you're
Yeah.
relaxed.
This is the
Uh
most quiet place I could get. Otherwise, if I move two steps from here, we can't hear each other.
okay, so is
I've
it
got
because of the two
boys.
sons? Yes, the
Yeah,
two sons.
I've got soldiers. The moment they know I'm awake, it's done.
It's the match is over, y'all. Everything is just
Yeah,
done.
yeah,
Okay, so I'm just
yeah.
gonna wait for you. Are you gonna put that phone down, or you're gonna keep with it? Like, or you have to put it down eventually, because it's, yeah, put it somewhere where you can relax and I don't
Oh, I
know.
have to relax.
Yeah,
Let's
relax.
see. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see if
No,
I
you have
can get
to.
a place where I can
You can
I
just
can
sit it down.
relax. Wait,
Yeah.
wait.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Let's see how this is gonna work. I think I can make something out of this. How's
Yeah.
work?
Work is okay. If you guys answer our
Mm.
calls, you give us these interviews, you show up on our podcast, that's work for us. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm more than
Oh, thank you
happy.
so much.
Yeah, but when you
Mm,
say I am
I'm trying to find
super
a
busy, all right, yeah, no, that's fine, man. Do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing. I'm
yeah.
here.
I'm trying to find a perfect spot so that I can relax, like you
Mm,
said I should.
mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is cool.
Be comfortable. That's why the show is called At Home with Joe. Like, it's at home with everybody. Like, so we're all at home. I'm in this small little room.
Mhm.
I'm just here. I'm just, it's no pressure.
Yeah. I think.
No
I think
pressure.
I want. I want to get as more comfortable than what I am now because
No,
I'm usually sitting down.
brilliant. Brilliant. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
hmm
How are you feeling, Nandi? I mean, this is the first time we are
I'm okay.
actually speaking, but I've played your music
Yeah.
on radio. I've always had good things to say. No, I'm not saying this because I'm with you, but I've always had good things to say about your music. I've always had good things to say about your music. Always. Like, I feel like
Thank you.
there's a part of me that actually does feel like you are one of the most underrated stars in Zimbabwe, and we speak about this with my wife, and she was like the other day, is it exposure, is it what is it, why is it fairly not flying so high more than what, like, I mean, do you have an answer for that? What is it the two sons that are dragging
I
you down?
think you know what? If anything, I'm super grateful for where I am. I would love to go far. Of course, that's where we're going.
Mm,
But for someone who we hit the industry last year because I officially became solo last year in October. So it's in August, I think. So it's been a year for me, and honestly, I wouldn't be more grateful. And also, I just believe in time. It's been a year. Let's give it a little bit more time. We're still working. So
Yeah.
let's see how it goes. Let's talk.
Let's
Let's
see how
have
it
this
goes.
conversation. Maybe let's have this conversation in a year's time. And if we're still here, then yeah, totanga kufamba.
I did it. No, but
Yes.
I don't think everything is going to, I don't think anything is going to hinder your progress, because already we see the progress, we see the effort that you're making. People are loving the
Yeah.
music. They love you,
Thank
they
you.
adore you, and everything just
Yeah.
seems to be waiting for you to just get on it. Like the doors are open for you. They just need you to walk
Mhm.
through. There's a little bit of a lag in the video. Sometimes, there's that you're freezing up a little bit and stuff like that. But I can hear you
Really?
perfectly. So I'm hoping the sound is what we really need. We really need to see you. We really need to hear you,
Yeah.
right? And obviously, there's a picture of Feli Nandi right in front of us. So even if it freezes, in whichever angle, as awkward as it can be, we still know we're speaking to Feli Nandi, right?
Well, let's hope we get the perfect audio. But I can hear you perfectly clear.
Yeah, that's good. I can hear you too. So let's start with the basic questions, which
Mm-hmm.
is, who is Feli Nandi in a nutshell? Describe and explain to us who Feli Nandi is. My first daughter, her name is Nandi.
Oh,
Nandipa.
really? That's
Yeah.
really
So
beautiful. That means she's pretty.
she is very pretty. If I was a
Yeah.
woman, I'll probably say she's pretty. She's prettier than me, but she takes from
Okay.
the
Okay.
dad.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I have a little bit of features
Oh,
that could make
really?
me pretty. But yeah, I'm not gonna go there.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. So who's
Yeah.
Feli Nandi?
I'm just a girl, who loves to sing. And my mama say I started singing when I was 3, which I don't remember. Um, and I grew up in a Christian family. I was raised by a single mother who was very strong, and she then died when I was 15, and stopped singing. Life happened, and 10 years later, I then found myself wanting to sing again. That's when I then met Mbeu, and then I joined his band as his backing vocalist, and I worked with him for 2.5 years. That was till last year in August. And then I officially took my solo journey. Yeah, to where we are today.
Well, I read that you
Mhm.
met him at a wedding. Was it at a wedding?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
so
at a
how
wedding. Yeah.
who approached who here? Was it Mbeu or was
Oh,
it
I
you? Were like,
did.
oh, I
Oh
can
my god.
sing.
Oh my god, I did. I saw him on stage, and I could not contain my happiness. I could not contain what I felt, man. I just waited for him to finish. And I walked straight to him and I introduced myself. And he asked me, "Kuthi uhamboyimba kuphi?" Ndikathi, "Hapana.
Mm,
I'm coming from home,
mm.
man. Your voice is everything. I want to sing with you." And then he said, "Okay, we'll give you auditions." And because I remember I spent a month because the way I approached, I think I just looked like an obsessed fan. So I think they also didn't believe that I wanted to sing. And then eventually, after Kunetswa, after countless calls, they then gave me an audition, and they were very shocked.
Is it?
And then from then we started the whole journey.
It's been a
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good couple of years for you. It's not even been 5 years, you say, right?
I know. Yeah, it hasn't been. Probably this year will be my 3rd year proper in music. So yeah.
Is it? Did you go
Mm.
to any school whatsoever, or you were just singing at church in the shower in your bedroom? Did you try or attempt anything, within the musical field, maybe as a scholar or what? Nothing.
Never.
Never.
If anything, my band, we always fight with my band because I don't understand chords. Like I don't know kuti. inonzi C, D. I just know that I wanted to sound like.
You are very noble. You're very noble.
Yeah.
So this obviously came late in your life. How old are you?
29, 29,
20,
29.
29, 29. So
Yeah.
you were around 20, say 25, 26 thereabouts when you
Yeah,
met
25,
like,
getting into 26. Yeah.
yeah. So this obviously came late. Did what did
Very.
other people say?
No. I was told by very close people that this won't work, you know? You haven't done this in years, and this is Zimbabwe. It won't work. Watokura Feli, wachembera. Focus on your kids, you know? And I remember there was a group that I was in that time, a WhatsApp group for ladies, and I vividly remember a lady saying, wait, if I'm life kunita baking vocalist at 26.
Man,
And
man.
I know I remembered I replied her and I said, nah, because it's a passion of mine. I love doing it. And that was it for real, and still is that. I loved singing, I still love singing, and that has been the whole point from day one.
Man, you're never too late to do anything. And that woman,
Oh,
yo, I'm sure
yeah.
she's probably eating her heart out right now. She's eating her words and she's cursing the day she said that statement. Man,
I
you
know,
know.
right?
Okay,
Shout
so
out to you,
listen.
friend.
Yeah, and those are the people that motivate us, right? They motivate a lot of people, the naysayers, the ones that are saying, nah, it's never gonna happen. Those are the ones that
Yeah,
when you're alone, you're like, I want to show them. I want to show them
I
for
want
real.
to. That's the thing. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's the thing.
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
Feli, I've got a very, very special guest that I want to introduce you to, who is also standing by and wanting to say something. Remember when we started off the show, I told you your biggest fan is my wife, and here she
Yeah.
is. She's joining us. She's joining us from work. She was like, I need to say something to her.
Oh,
So, being the husband that wants the peace in the house,
oh,
I just have
thank
to.
you so much.
I want the peace in the house. I don't want to be. And Lynn, can you hear us? Hi, Edlene.
Okay. Hi, Feli.
Thank you
I'm
so
your
much.
huge fan. I'm your biggest fan. Like,
Thank you so
I
much.
go crazy
Thank
about
you.
your songs. The first time I heard about you
Yeah.
was when you sang with Trevor Mufudzi. Yo,
Yeah.
I was like, where was this girl hiding?
Thank you so much.
I could
Thank
not
you.
believe the
Thank
voice that was
you.
coming out. I'm like, where is this girl hiding? Why we don't know about it? I mean, why we don't know about her? So from there, I went through all your songs from Anadai. And by the way, sorry about the passing of your mom. I'm sure she's super proud
Yeah,
of you.
thank you.
So all the songs,
I'm sure too.
Anadai, Munu Wangu. Man, I love your
Man,
music.
she's a fan.
I don't
She's a
have any
fan.
questions.
She is.
I just
She
want to
is.
tell you that I'm your biggest fan. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah.
The only
But I
way
love
is
your
out.
music, Shane.
Thank
May
you.
God bless you.
Thank you
May
so
God bless
much.
your hustle and your designs too. One day I'm gonna order something. You have great talent. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I've never interrupted any of Joe's interviews, but today when he told me that he's interviewing you, I'm like,
Yeah.
no man, I need to speak to this girl, but I can't. Unfortunately, I can't see
Thank
you.
you so
But
much.
I love you. I love you. I love you. Let me get
Thank
back to
you.
work. Thanks a lot for this opportunity, Joe.
Thank you so much.
Later.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs.
Oh, she's a
Mars.
lovely woman.
She is a fan. She is a huge fan. And I was like,
Oh, she's
who's
lovely.
this? I was like, who's this Feli Nandi you're talking about? And then she sent me links and links and links. And I was like, oh, she's really
Yeah.
good. I mean, she's, and
She's
I was
lovely.
late to the party.
I know,
I
right?
do apologize. Late
But
to the
here we
party
are.
in
That's
knowing.
fine.
Yeah. But when I got there, I stole the party. I was like, I stole the show.
Right?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
So,
Mhm.
26 going into, you said 25, 26 going into 27, you decided, I want to do this, I want to do music. How was your experience with Mbeu?
Amazing, man. Ooh.
Mm.
I can only describe it as amazing. The journey was life changing. I learned everything from those guys. I learned how to stand before a mic, what to do in the studio, how to even write and structure a song, man. I learned that
Mm.
from those guys. I'm
Is it?
super grateful. The experience was life changing, and I can never take away anything from that.
There's just so much talent in Zimbabwe, man.
Oh,
When you
proper,
speak about
proper, proper.
Mbeu, I've had the chance to see him perform live, and I've seen him in the studios at times.
He's amazing.
You know,
He's
he's
amazing.
he's just amazing. And big ups to Mbeu
He is amazing. Yeah,
for just
yeah,
taking you on board and being the big brother. I don't know who's older, but maybe
yeah,
just being the big brother there and looking out for you and
yeah,
showing you the ropes, man. So you had never
yeah.
written a song before?
Well, I used to sing at school, and we used to
Yeah.
just write, funny songs at school. But that's a life.
Mm. Oh, but you
Yeah,
you you had you had written a couple of songs before.
yeah, nah. Well, maybe just probably one. My mom's passing was a really huge blow. So
Mm-hmm.
I started writing songs about her passing since the day she passed. So yeah, those were there. But
Mm-hmm.
proper songs, nah. I only remember
Yeah.
songs about my mom.
I think you got a good sort of a base in writing your songs, because always songs have a lot of emotion that comes through. Like there's a lot of emotion when
Yeah.
you write a song. It's either you're happy, you're sad, or
Mm.
you're in between, or you're in love, or whatever. There's emotion in each and every song. Do you
It
think
was.
right here, right now, you can
Mm.
remember one song that you wrote for your mother that you'd probably love to do just in a cappella or something?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Please go
Mm.
ahead, Feli Nandi.
That's, do I remember the melody again? Oh yeah, it sounded like tell me. My mother, you were the only one for me. Whenever I needed anything, I told you. Shamandisi and kando itase. Say go, my. Yeah, I remember. I remember.
You
I
remember,
remember.
you remember. There you go, there you go.
Yeah,
May his soul rest in
yeah,
peace, man. May his soul rest in peace. I think you
yeah,
have these
yeah. She was a great
beautiful
woman. She was a
memories.
great woman. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
You're in the band. You're
Mm.
you're doing this backing vocalist, BV. You're one of the BVs,
Mm.
right? And
Yeah.
you decide to go solo. What was the reason for that? How was the conversation like? I mean, what was the real reason you felt like you wanted to go solo?
Oh, I didn't feel like I wanted to go solo, but story for another day.
Mhm.
I think having
Story
done
for
everything together.
today, please. Story for today.
I think we both got to a point where we knew we now wanted different things because I'd started releasing most of my own songs,
Mhm.
and we just got to a point where we both knew that I think this was the time to go separate ways. But because we were one team that had a very popular chemistry, when it comes
Mhm.
to music, everyone knew us, everywhere we went. It was just guys, Mbeu na Feli, my vocals out. So it wasn't an easy thing to do because even we didn't know what we were going to do afterwards, but it had to be done. And I'm sure we would have done it differently, but at the heat of the moment, it had to be done that way, and it hurt a lot. But well, I guess there's never an easy goodbye. So yeah,
I
yeah.
know, I know. You guys had a pretty good run, 2 years, a good run indeed,
Proper,
and then
proper.
proper, and now it had to
Yeah,
come to an end, which was sad. But
yeah,
all good things come to an end, right? All good things come to an end.
Yeah.
Mm, mm. So you actually started releasing a couple of songs while you're still with the Mbeu tribe?
Yeah, yeah. I started releasing my own music when I was still with the Multi Tribe, and
Mm,
some of these songs, even I think my first single, my first recorded single was Mbeu's cover. It was Mbeu's
mm,
song that I did a cover called Hajune. He even helped me to structure it. So I started doing this Ndishitori Mom band, and of course I released then more, a couple more.
mm,
Yeah.
okay, okay. That was really cool. So, I mean, that was really cool. There's synergies there because I think there wasn't
Mm.
any, oh, why are you doing songs on your own? And, why are you trying to do my cover and stuff like that?
Nah.
There was a natural synergy there of working together, right?
Yeah, yeah. Him personally is a very, he's like a teacher. He's a
Okay.
very humble young guy. He's very friendly and very shy and quiet, and we were good friends anyway. Above everything, that's why
Mm,
we worked together really well, because we were
yeah.
very good friends. And yeah, it made everything easy, because even out of music, we had time to call each other and ask, one boy, something like that.
Mm,
So
mm,
yeah, yeah.
mm. Okay. So fast forward to today, you've got a brand new
Yeah.
song. Uh, um, what you call it? You've got a brand new song. You have been releasing music. Do you have an album yet?
No, we're working on one. Just I
You
don't
work?
know when we're releasing it. We're just recording. We'll probably just sit down and pick songs. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably think maybe your team probably doesn't even think it's necessary to have an album, right? Some artists do that. Like, album
Nah,
for what? We can
I'm
just
gonna have
do
my first
singles.
album. No, no, no. I'm gonna have an album.
Uh, But so far, the
Mm.
music has taken you places, man. People have loved everything that you have put out there. There's no song that you'd say
Yeah.
from Feli Nandi that people are like, no, that's not the, that's not Feli. Everybody has been falling in love. How is that feeling? Just knowing that what you're putting out there, people accept.
Scary, man. I was telling someone yesterday that if only people know that I'm not even as good as they think, eh? It's scary.
No, man.
That is scary.
No, man. Don't say
And
like that now, Feli Nandi. You're making us all like. Don't say it
I'm
like that.
scared. And I keep thinking I don't deserve the love that I'm getting. I
Mhm.
don't, man. I don't.
There are people that are born to be stars, like people that are born to be natural, uh you
Yeah.
know popular individuals, and I think
Mhm.
you're one of those. Like stars, you don't need 5 years for them to be working on a particular project for them to realize, like natural born stars. You don't need that. You don't need
Yeah.
that length of a time. Sometimes all you need is to be in the right place and at the right time, like when you were there at that wedding, and then after that you waited for that boy to come down from the stage, and you were like, nigga, I've got to sing with you, right? And
Yeah.
okay, sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, apologies, Mbeo, I called you a boy, apologies, man. um but I just wanted to say, you don't need a lot. So when you are a naturally born superstar or a star, you don't need a whole lot of explanation on how you do things. You might
Yeah.
say,
I
okay,
guess.
how am I writing this music and people are falling in love with it? It's because it's natural. You can't even explain it yourself. All you have to do is just
Yeah,
get in
that's so
studio.
me.
That's so you.
That's
So
so
I'm
me.
telling you right
I
now.
I get out of the studio sometimes. If you ask me today to explain how I wrote Unotyei, and yeah, I know why I wrote it and what was happening, but how we then sang it, I don't even remember. I don't, man. I don't.
You do remember how to
Yeah,
sing it on stage, right? You do remember how to sing it
I
again
do.
on stage. Yeah, okay. So that's
I
cool. That's
do.
cool. Never
Yeah.
mind how you wrote it. It doesn't matter. If you can still redo it again on stage, that's all we need. That's
Oh,
all we
hell
need.
yeah.
And yeah, that's all we need.
That
That's all
that
we
we
need.
can do. That we can do.
Okay. So Unotyei is doing pretty well. Uh I
Mhm.
know you said you don't remember how you sang it and all, but what was the was the vibe behind the song when you
Oh,
got
it
into
was my
studio?
mom.
When it was your
It was
mom.
my mom.
So
I think
how many
this is the
songs have
third
you
song.
written about your song, about your mom?
I know, right? I know. I was about to say that. I think this is the third song that I've, yeah, and pretty much the last. Whoo, yeah. I think
No,
this
you
is the
can.
third song that I've that I've written for my mom, and I kept
Uh-huh.
feeling like I had not given her the credit that she needed, and I felt like that experience that I had with her just maybe an hour before she died. I felt like I needed to put it out there. When what she told me, this was a woman I had known for 15 years. She died when I was 15. So, and my mom was such a hero. She was such a, she was that woman. And I felt like, you know what, people just don't know. I need to put it out there. People need to know
Mm,
the kind of woman that gave birth to me, man. She was everything. To her, she was a goddess. She was that woman.
man.
So I've written two songs, and I just felt like, nah, I've not given her the right song. But I feel
Mm.
like on Unotyei, I just pretty much summed it all up.
What were those
Yeah.
words like? The last few seconds of your life with you, and I know I'm taking you back a couple of years back, man, and probably sad
Yeah.
memories and stuff like that. But these are the things that probably make the world a little bit stronger than what it is. These experiences make us and shape us into who we are. You know,
Yeah.
and connections such as your mom, your dad, they make almost each and every individual, grown ass individual that I know out there. Those connections and those memories make people around us. So take us
Yeah.
through. Like, I know it's a soft spot, probably an emotional spot, but take us through what
Mhm.
if you'd love to share. What happened then,
Yeah,
and
sure. I
uh,
think what makes me strong to talk about it is because I've spoken about it for a lot. When I then decided to start singing, I told myself,
hmm,
because I had not spoken about it for years, because I felt like I wasn't ready. But now for the past 2 years, 3 years, it has been. So now I am really comfortable talking about it because I've
hmm,
sang about it, and I pretty much talk about it in every interview. So it's now very easy
yeah,
to relate to. So my
okay,
father died when I was 7. So it was my mom throughout my whole life. So that day it was just a normal Tuesday like any other day, and she asked me to take her to the bus stop. So my mom loved lecturing, which every other teenager hates. Hey, so we then walked together. So she did say a lot of things, but among those things, she asked me, "Kuti saka ndikafa nhasi, unoita sei?" Ndikati, matanga. I don't need this. Ndinonotamba. Because it was in the morning, so we used to get out, in the ghetto. Tombotamba rakaraga setendo chikoro or something. No, and then she said, no, 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 I'm serious. I want to know plan yako ndei. Ndikati ndina planning. I'll probably just die. And then she laughed, and then she asked me to Unotyei. Ndikati, ndotyaka kuti achandibhadharira school fees ndiani, kwandingachitenga chikafu ndiani. Tikanzi,
mm,
ndangariro dziri kumberi hadzisi dzako, ndedzamwari. And then we laughed. Yeah. And then she got in a
mm,
combi, and then an hour later we received a message that she had passed in a combi train accident. So some of her most last words then hit me for life, man. I stopped singing because we talked about singing just before she got in that combi. We talked about a lot of things. So I then just told myself, you know what? God, it's not fair. I loved to sing because Mama loved to see me sing. You took her, so I ain't singing. So
mm.
yeah.
It was
Mm.
almost like a retaliation. Like,
Yeah, I was angry because she was my biggest fan. My mama would cry when I start singing in church. She would very sticker, if that's the right term. She would just go into this zone of her own, and you would wanna. So after church, as a parent, there's no kwase musingafari pane nchimba chechi yese inenge ichijamba but imi mune makangonyarara. Then she said, you will never understand. You will understand one day. And I think now I understand. She would just get into her zone and just look at me, man, and shed a tear or something. Apo chechi yese inenge ichijamba kakufara. Even you know.
Just the way I'm doing
So
right now,
whatever.
like this.
Yeah, like that. And yeah, that was my mom for you. So yeah, her passing was just a huge blow on almost everything in my life. So yeah.
Man. Thank you for sharing that story. But I think your mom, in one way or the other, was very prophetic. Like I think she knew what was going to
Yeah,
happen in her life. Yeah.
I
And
guess.
yeah, and I think the moment where Paraistika Uchimba was her realizing what the future is like for you. Like probably she could see you in that future and
Probably.
say, yeah, she's gonna be a star. She's gonna be beautiful. She's gonna be an amazing
Yeah.
singer and vocalist. Yeah, and sometimes I I don't know, but life is so weird. It is so weird,
Yeah.
and to an extent where you cannot really, make sense of it all when it's happening. But after it
Yeah.
has happened, that's when you realize the reasons as to why certain things were happening in the past. Like when you shared your story, I saw exactly what I think I could sense exactly what your mother was saying, and that's
Yeah.
beautiful,
Yeah.
man.
I guess.
She could see
That's
it,
good.
and
Yeah.
having those conversations. A lot of people don't have those conversations where their mothers and their fathers go intricate and in detail about having conversations with their daughters about what they want to do and talk about life after death and stuff like that. That's something that we don't get a lot.
Yeah. 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 And I feel I'm grateful, man. I keep on, going back to those moments, and I was young. I kept on brushing it out. She wanted to say more. But those, just what she said, those few words, I'm just super grateful. She got to say goodbye.
Man, that's powerful.
Yeah.
And Unotyei was that question that she asked you before she got into
She
that
did.
combi.
She did.
She did.
Unotyei got to say ka. And I talked about school fees. I talked about food because I loved food when I was young. So I talked about
You don't anymore?
yeah. I was thinking about meat. Notinga nyama njani kana mukafa, And
I
then
know.
and then she laughed and she said, ndangariro dziri kumberi kwadzisi dzako ndedzamwari. Yeah.
Man. And that's so powerful. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Well, once again, thank you for sharing your story, Feli Nandi. I'm super
Yeah.
grateful that you are here on this podcast. I've always wanted to have an interview with you. Who inspired you to do music then?
My mom was a Thomas Mapfumo fan, like hard fan.
Shumba.
We were forced to listen to Thomas Mapfumo. We were forced. I didn't like the music, but I ended up loving it because there was no choice. My mom would play Thomas Mapfumo Kuvana 5 because my mom, right, Mutana 5, Tishande. Before you know it, Thomas Mapfumo will be in the house. Just the music, man. I know albums and albums of Thomas Mapfumo because they were played. Times in the house. Yeah. So I still love his music. Yeah.
Man, what's like the best song that you love from Thomas Mapfumo?
I've got many. I have got many that I love, but I've got one that I would definitely call him and say, Mkuru.
Yeah. What's that song? Oh man, that's a hit right there. Yo.
Yeah. That one. Woo! I don't care where I am. I'm just gonna vibe to it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a good song, eh? Handina munyama
Very,
iwe
very.
shamwari ten
Yeah,
ten.
exactly.
Dakazarwa dakanaka iwe
Exactly. Adieu. Yeah, well, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's a good song.
Oh, that's a good song, man. Like
Very.
I don't know if there's any family in Zimbabwe. And when you were born 10 years after me, you were born 92, right?
Yeah.
Shit, I was born 82.
Yeah.
So I also grew up in a family which had a lot of Thomas Mafuma, and I don't think there's any family within that time, 82, 92, 95, going up, which didn't listen and which didn't play
Thomas
Thomas
Mafuma.
Mafuma.
I think so too. He's such a legend.
Did he inspire your dreadlocks and your natural hair?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I gotta rock. I've got to rock these dreadlocks, and you did, man.
Oh man,
you did.
I love it.
Huh?
I love his music. I love him,
man. Okay, so you grew up on a monopoly of Thomas Mafuma. Any other artists that you played in the house? Any other artists that you vibe to, even up to date?
Oh, Soldier Love. Ooh, I love me some Soldier Love.
I loved him.
I loved him.
Soldier Love. Are we there?
And Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston,
because of vocals. That the way she pulls those vocals. So I used to just do that, and when I'm bathing, and my mama would be shouting, "You are winning to the and I'll just be shouting in the house. Yeah, that was me.
I know, man. So you grew up with a lot of influences, and here you are, man. Sometimes you don't know what your mother and your father are putting into you, like in your DNA, in your blood. Until you're grown, that's when you realize that, oh man,
exactly,
this is where I was supposed to be.
Exactly.
Where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up? You grew up in Harare, in the city? In which town did you grow up?
I grew up in Zvarasekwa Extension.
Zvarasekwa Extension. Oh yeah. Uko kunoti kana kwakanaya kunotanga kunyura. Ndiko.
Baba. Isusu tisakanyatokura kuchinyudza manje. Kusati
kwatombone maroads. Nothing. Well, on your way to White House. Walk to Chicago White House.
Yeah, since I was to White House, it was bad. Ooh, it was bad.
Man, I know. Yeah. I get a couple of relatives as well that stayed up in there, and
but
every time they'll always be
we loved it. We didn't care. Taitoziva kuti kana chienda kuchikoro ukapfeka bhutsi yako, ubvopfeka bepa rako rechingwa pamusoro, ubvopinda mumadhaka ako, ubvofamba, wozosvika kurodhi ubvisa bepa rako rechingwa.
Man.
And it was fun, we were content, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
When you're growing up, life, everything just looks so simple. It's so easy.
Beautiful, man.
Exactly. You don't care a lot.
It was beautiful. If only we knew the time, how important that time was, that peace, that contentness. That it was just beautiful. Yeah.
Man. Feli Nandi is in the building. I'm so happy. Did I tell you my daughter's name is Nandi? Like our daughter's name is Nandi. Yeah. So Nandipa. And I'm sure she's a fan of you. I've never really asked her what music she plays, but
well, you should.
I'm sure she's a fan. Yeah, I'm sure she's a fan. Okay, so what's happening now? Are you working on an album? You I think you alluded to that. When do you think we're gonna get this album, this Feli Nandi album? It should be hot.
Well, we were honestly looking at this year, but if there's anything about me, I like to take my things step by step. So I'm recording, I'm recording everywhere, and just hopefully we've recorded the actual songs that we want. We then sit down and probably just choose the best 8 that we think sound good or better, and
Okay. But quickly now, and I know this is a question that you get asked a lot. How do you describe your music? Like what genre do you sing in, or you don't have one at all, because you've got these influences from the Thomas Mafumo, you've got the Whitney Houston, you've got
Yeah.
even the Winky D, and your collaborations. You're collaborating with people that are in a lot of genres. How do you describe in your own way? Because it all started with
To be
this
very
question, and
honest
Oliver
with you,
Mtukudzi was like, how do I describe my music? And then that's when he said Tuku music.
yeah,
What is
I'm
what
probably
is
gonna
your
say Feli
definition?
Nandi music because I have no idea what genre I sing. All I know is if I get in the studio, I tell the producer kuti ndoda kuti do cha do do. I kuti ndizive kuti this is. I have no idea. I have no idea. I
In
have no
that
idea.
moment, you're just explaining the very small little, like the basic or the start to the song. Like let it go like this, and then you
Yeah.
sing. And then you
When you
sing
want to write a
on
song,
that.
usually,
Yeah.
yeah. When I want to compose a song, usually I've got a melody and I've got a beat that I want. So producers then help us it better and more beautiful. But then and usually with my producer we spend hours asinganzwisise kuti nkundu iyi impira here igitare here. So but inini ndinoramba chiti akaisa makeys ndoti haizi riyo ngundu yacho iyi. We try the guitar haizi, we try mbira haizi, kusvika tawana ngundu iyoyo yarira munzeve dzangu, and then I know this is what I want.
Man,
Yeah.
man. But with time you get there. You will literally get
I
there.
think
You
so.
would, yeah, you will get there. You will get there. But you've also
Yeah, I
worked
guess.
with the you've also worked with Prayzah, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've
Definitely.
worked extensively with Prayzah. How's been that experience? I mean, what were you aiming at getting? Who approached you? Who? Like, did you do the Mbeu thing on Prayzah, or Prayzah now was like, girl, you can sing?
Oh my God, no. No, he came to my Instagram, and I just went to the account when he said hi, and I just went straight to the account to see if this is real. Like, is this happening?
Is this the real Prayzah? Is this the real Prayzah? Yeah.
And he did say, I love your music, and please pass through the studio sometime. I would love to get help. And I'm like, what? I know. I just said, thank you, Jesus. I don't know how you're doing this, but this is
Hallelujah.
And I'll tell you the truth, man. The first time I walked in the studio and I saw him sitting there, he just said, "I want to get you, DJ." And I said,
Why? Why?
Yeah, well, you know me. We just vibed right there. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, and all our sessions have been crazy, man. Half the time we are laughing, and it was a better that I feel that's seriously, but yeah. He's a very nice guy, and he's a teacher, and he kept saying, I'm with you, don't worry, I'll be teaching you. You need any help, give me a call. You know, that's him. Yeah.
Man, that's powerful. That's
Yeah,
powerful.
yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
To get that sort of recognition from Prayzah, I mean,
I
he
know.
literally doesn't have to lift a finger to look for a backing vocalist or for somebody. I mean, he doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
People are approaching him left, right, and center. Left, right, and center.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Your naturalness has just got you to where you are. I'm really proud of you. I mean, I'm proud to be in this very same space with you. Man.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What was the first song you worked with Ja?
I begged his song called what was the song? Oh yeah, he hasn't released some of the songs.
Okay.
But on the released songs, there's Brende.
Oh, okay. Man, I love that song.
Man.
I love that song.
That was a good one. And I saw him write that song, you know.
Is it?
I know, I remember. I asked him, Kati mkoma muri kutonyorera. And he said, yeah. Ndikatokomana mukoma ndikagona zvamuri kuita izvi ka hamundibate. And he laughed. And he said, no, you're good, Feli. You don't want. I'm like, nah, you're a legend. You just wrote a song in my eyes.
Man.
Yeah.
So you were the part of the girls that were going Rinenge Gondora.
Yeah. That was me.
Oh,
that was me. It's Tibela. Yeah.
That song. When you do meet Prayzah, do tell him that song. He gave me visions of Oliver Mtukudzi. He brought me back to Oliver Mtukudzi. Like there's a part.
I know.
There are sounds in that song that really just quickly they just throw me to Tuku. You know.
I know. Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
You've
been blessed, Feli Nandi. Don't take it
Thank
lightly.
You so much.
Don't take it lightly. You've been blessed too much. Too much.
I keep saying, Lord, I don't want to take this for granted, man. I'm a blessed girl.
Yeah. You are. All right. So how are the two boys? Let's talk about you personally. How's everything? You're married, single mother. What's happening?
It's that part that I never talk about.
You want to talk about it? You don't want to talk about it? No. Okay. Let's stick to the music. But the boys.
The boys are great. I'm still shocked. I haven't gotten a loud bang on my door, which is like miraculous. And it's already 10, and I don't know what's happening. But
how old are they?
The first one is 9, and the younger one is 6. I was blessed with amazing kids who were very independent. They don't give me a hard time because I'm never home. So they make life very easy. They understand, mommy is tired. They'll be communicating. Let it true. Mommy is tired. Let her sleep. Something like that. Give her water. Or did she eat? Something like that. So they're really beautiful and then they're very well-behaved kids. Like you leave them, they're not like, your everyday type of kids.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got a lot going on in your life, hey? Like you've got the apparel shop and stuff like, and you've got the music. You're trying to juggle that. Maybe you're trying to shoot a video. I don't know who's doing the creative processes in there, who's directing it, whatever. You got a lot going on.
I do, man. I do, and
you must have some help. You must have some help. Somebody's helping you.
Oh, I do. Oh my God, I do. I wouldn't be Feli Nandi if it wasn't for Comic Pastor. Definitely.
Okay, yeah, I heard that story. That was a really yeah.
He's the man behind every other song that I've done. He's the money behind it. This is a guy who sacrificed his time, his money, just so I could get in the studio and record. Man, you would never talk about me and not mention him.
Yeah, but how did that whole situation with Comic Pastor happen? Because you've got the Mbeu scenario that went on, and then you got a shot. How did it come in? How does it come into the Feli Nandi story?
Well, when I was a backing vocalist, he approached me. And Comic Pastor is a straight guy. He doesn't go. He just said, "You're too good to be a backing vocalist." And I said, "Huh?" And he said,
"Like you were like, is this one of your jokes?"
Yeah. And he invited me to his studio to start recording, and that's how I started doing my singles. So he would just make sure that he funds the studio time and the videos, and that's how people came to know Feli. That's how it started. It was all him.
Man.
So he became a father of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a daughter-father relationship, which which is
Mm.
very straining for me because that man is very protective. Or I can get calls at 6 a.m. where you're just
Yeah.
quiet and he is shouting when I
What?
do
Yeah, just
stuff. Or especially
exactly.
when I
Just
go
like a
offside,
father. Mm.
he can call you and just shout, and I'll be just quiet and go, "Oh, you did. Oh, you sorry." Yes.
Saka waita ma offside mangani so far.
Yeah, there was one huge one just before this video that he didn't like about the videos. Yeah, so we were going to post the video on, I think it was on a Monday, and then
Mm.
I was going to post it, and Basat won. So I mean, one of the videographers then went, because the videographers that shot my video are part of the associates. So he then invited Mdara kuti uyembona tisati-release mwana wenyu ari kureleasa video na-8 makuseni. And then he went to see. I got a call and he wanted to eat me.
Zvakanzi aite.
Sorry.
Zvakanzi aite video.
He's like a dad. Like even my family now knows some of these decisions we have to call her other dad.
Man.
Yeah.
But that's good. You got a lot of things that some artists within the music industry never get. You get people who are exactly people who are protective of your brand, people who want to see you prosper, people who appreciate what you're doing, and even people who love you for who you are, and who respect your brand, which is something that a lot of artists don't get. Some get it, but they're getting it in the wrong manner. Like when you honestly want an opinion from people about your music, and then they tell you, oh yeah, it's good, when it's not good. They know in their heart of hearts that it's not good, but you're getting honest feedback. So you've collaborated a lot, Trevor Dongo, Mbeu, and etc. Who's been like the big, which collaboration have you enjoyed the most?
I did enjoy shooting Mbeu, which was of course the big hit, and with Solution and Didinewe. Solution is like a brother, where I end up being very good friends with almost everyone that I've worked with. I'm a very friendly person. Like I'm your type of person. Like you want us to vibe, let's just vibe. Yeah, we're having fun. That's me.
Yeah.
So I'm friends with Trevor. I'm friends with Solution. I'm friends with Mkoma Progress. I'm friends with Lassie. That's me. So I think I've pretty much enjoyed all my collaborations. But the one that I really enjoyed was shooting Handidinewe with Solution. That was fun. Like that was fun because if you look at the video, it's very intimate. So people are always asking us, how did you do that? I know we had countless takes because we were just laughing all the way.
I was like to the missus, are they in love? Like, do they have a thing going on? Like, are they for real? Like, yeah, man. Like, I mean, you acted the part. Like, whatever you wanted to.
Yeah, I know,
the
right?
song and exactly, you really did. You like you.
We
you
had
overdid
fun.
it.
We had fun.
You killed it.
And
you killed it.
We would try to get close to each other, and just when we're about to do the proper thing, and then he says a joke. He says something like, "Yeah, and we then laugh, And the videographer ended up, Solution Feli. We need to shoot this, So we
need to get this
fun.
thing done. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, and let's quickly dash off into a conversation that I've been also meaning to ask you. Like, so the designing thing and the designing business that you've got going on, you obviously clothe yourself in a lot of things that you do in your videos and stuff like that. People know you as a designer as well. People know you as, this, and the Feli Nandi apparels. How did that come
Mm.
about? I mean, is that something you went to school for, or you picked it up
Oh no.
from somewhere? Yeah.
I'm a street designer. I'm a street designer. One thing that
Okay.
my mama, some of her most some of the words that she told me just before she boarded that combi was, if ever you're gonna be a great musician, don't be a broke one. That's what she said.
Ah, man.
So
Those are wise words.
and then I met Comic Pastor, who then said, I was a musician as not what do you do? So then I had already started designing, but it was on a low key. And then Comic Pastor said, no, the power, the much effort that you put to music, no much effort you chase kuhembe. And I started doing that. And if there's anything that I really want, Jor, in this lifetime, whatever period that I'm going to be in the music industry or talked about in this music industries, I want to be recognized as one of the most successful female musicians. Wow. I want one day people to say, I don't want people to say, I gonna, but I mean, just I don't want that. I want to be an example to any other girl child that we can actually be musicians and actually be successful, like money successful, not just name successful.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I wanted to
not just having your name in lights and nothing in your pocket.
And also the other thing that made me to even want to really start doing this was the experiences that I had seen when I was with Mbeu, of some of the girls when and they don't have money. And I know we used to talk about this, and I would feel really bad for these girls because this is a girl who's coming from Bari, she's coming from wherever, and she has a talent, and you don't have money to record. You need a good producer. They charge 300, they charge 200, 100, and you're just coming from wherever you're coming from. You have a talent and you've got no funding, so you end up being taken advantage of proper because so that's what Comic took me. He took me and he sat down with me and he said, this is what happens when you don't work hard. I want you to stop being a celebrity because you are not. I want you to be a worker. I want you to work hard. So that's what I've been doing all this time. Yeah.
And those were lessons that I think a lot of artists out there would love to really get. There's a huge, a yawning gap between being an artist and being rich, and some of this and having money, and some of these artists feel like,
I don't know how best I can impact, or I don't think I've made it, but I strongly believe I'm on my way. And it's not easy, trust me. It's not easy to have a singing career and then try to work hard on something. But if there's anything that I would want to do one day in this lifetime or in this journey of mine, is to inspire any talent and to tell them that, especially singers, you can work hard, you can have a normal everyday life. Like I have a 24/7 workshop life where we make clothes and there you're not a singer, there you're not a celebrity, you ain't gonna be signing autographs. No, you're gonna be cutting materials. That's what I want. I've always, Comic Pastor told me to be human. He told me that you're going to be human, you're going to be nobody, and you're going to work and you're going to pay your bills. So that's what we're striving to do,
man. Yeah, that's really improper. That's really improper right there, because you don't have to be waiting, because it can be a little bit frustrating. I've had countless conversations with artists that really want the limelight. They really want it. They want to be on each and every radio station. They want to be on each and every show. They want to be on a podcast. They want to be written about. But even when they get that, the money does not translate. And it could be very, very stressful mentally and physically, that you're putting in all of this work, but the money is not there. You know,
it doesn't.
some
Doesn't.
it, yeah. So having somewhere where you or having something that you can say, this is what I do, regardless of whether I'm popular, I have the music and I have fans, etc, etc. This is my business. Is is just great, man. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. So that's
Feli
what we're
Nandi.
just trying to do.
I know. What's the next step? The last question I'm gonna ask you. What's next for Feli now? For Feli Nandi right now. Where are we headed? I know there's an album that you're working on, but what are some of those things that we can look forward to in the future?
Because I lost my mom when I was young. I'm so passionate about orphans, hey. And I just have not started, but something that's not clothes and music, I would really love. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing what a lot of other people have been doing, like, literally looking for people to help. Now, this is how I want to do it. I want to reach out to talented, disadvantaged kids, the kids that have voices to sing, children that have talents, but because they are disadvantaged, no one will ever see them. So in future, I want to be able to give an opportunity kumwana ari kuzasi kwenyika uko kusingawanikwe kana internet. I want to be able to go to the remote places, and if we have to do auditions to find out, is this one a dancer, is this one a singer, how do we bring them to light? That I would love to take. But well, we haven't started on that because I'm also still growing myself. So yeah.
Man, that's brilliant. That's a brilliant idea. I hope nobody steals it from you. But no one can ever do it. Yeah.
I will sue you because I just said my idea here.
But I tell you what, they can never do it as better as you have. I mean, you're blessed with it. I mean, you have a story. There's a story behind this, and I love a good story, man. Every now and then, I love to listen to a good story, and you've just given me a really good story here, Feli Nandi.
Yeah.
If I had this respect for you today, I have.
Thank you so much.
If I had this. I mean, it is just like it is skyrocketing. Yeah. I'm so grateful we had this conversation, man. I'm so grateful I met you. You're a wonderful soul, a wonderful human being, wonderful singer, businesswoman. Yeah. Everything is going on well for you, and all the aspirations that you have in your future. I just hope God takes you through them and they become successful. And I know they're going to be successful. I know they are.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Man, thank you. And please say hi to our beautiful wife. She's amazing. You are a lucky guy.
I'm a lucky bastard, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm a lucky bugger, man. Look what I did. You just see what I did you just see what I picked up?
And please say hi to Nandi. Pass my love.
I will say hi to the boys and all the best, man.
I will.
Thanks a lot for hanging out with me.
I will.
Thanks a lot for hanging out with me.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye now. Man, that was Feli Nandi. Feli freaking Nandi in the place. Beautiful singer, songwriter, backing vocalist for Prayzah and Mbeu in a previous in the start of a career. Beautiful entrepreneur. I do apologize if the video was a little bit jumpy there. Could have been the network. It's cloudy here. It's windy. I don't know. I'm in freaking Johannesburg, and she's in our. I don't know what's happening in those connections. But if you manage to get and to hear exactly what Feli was saying, that's the good thing. That's something that I'm really grateful for. I could hear her, and I am most definitely sure that you picked up everything that she was talking about. Brilliant story from Feli Nandi. Her story is something that you could write in a book, and it could still sell. That's an idea I could probably pitch to her, right? Yeah. Please don't steal it, and don't steal any of our ideas. It's the Joe Mars Podcast. My name is Joe, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Same place, same time. You are listening to the Joe Mars Podcast, a podcast inspired by musical creatives from and within Zimbabwe, Africa, and the world who are making an impact and pursuing their passions. My name is Joseph Maramba, and I'm a radio host best known for shows on Capital FM, Power FM, and Sport FM radio. And I'm sitting down with creatives to learn more on their story and how they are making an impact with every single production.